I'd like to call on my spirit council to please join me here in this time and space. Cleansing and clearing. Cleansing and clearing. And I'd like to ask for messages today for my highest good, harming none. What do I most need to hear today for my highest good, harming none? And as always, I thank you so much for your continued guidance, presence, and support in my life. And so it is. If you're seeing this, it's because there is a message or messages in here that I thought were relevant for more than just me. So thank you for being here. Once again, only messages for the highest good are welcome in this time and space. Thank you. What do I most need to hear today for my highest good, harming none? Getting an impression of an ox. Interesting. Ox. See the ox sort of this is old-timey. We're seeing an ox hooked up to some sort of machine, like a turbine of some kind. It's making a machine move, but it's hooked up to a chain or a rope that has it hooked to a carousel sort of mechanism, and it is moving along, making this carousel move, which then in turn is powering something larger than itself. So interpretation of that as sort of being in this energy of momentum, for sure. Powerful momentum. Maybe feeling a little bit chained or stuck as well. I don't see any other oxes here. It's just the one. Once again, only messages for the highest good are welcome in this time and space. Thank you. What do I most need to hear today for my highest good, harming none? I'm hearing workhorse. So this sort of energy of domesticating animals for the purposes of completing work, doing jobs. What do I most need to hear today for my highest good, harming none? What is this ox powering? Okay. We got a bunch of cards to answer that question. So the first card that popped out, though, was the Queen of Swords in reverse. And she's got her eyes closed, and yet her eyes are open. This is showing up in reverse. So the Queen of Swords in reverse. First of all, the swords is all about intellect, intuition, communication, and the way in which we utilize and work with those energies in our lives. So the Queen is, generally speaking, a very matured, feminine aspect of this in terms of really trusting her intuition, trusting her words, being confident in how she speaks and who she speaks to and what she's thinking. And like she's very cutthroat. She doesn't hesitate to sort of, call it like it is and that sort of thing. This is showing up in reverse. So there's definitely a hesitation here. There's definitely I think there's sort of an energy of not wanting to speak out loud what she's seeing, and sort of an energy of keeping secrets is coming through, like an energy of keeping secrets and sort of keeping things tucked away and hidden away, like she sees, but she's not speaking on it. And then, so then we had the ox energy coming through with this workhorse energy and circling around and moving this large machine, powering something greater than itself. Not really getting a sense of what it's powering. However, when I asked, these cards fell out. So we're going to take a look at these now. So we've got the Page of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Ten of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. The very first thing that's coming through is like, is what you're doing what you really want to be doing with your time, energy, and resources? Yeah, is what you're putting your time, energy, and resources into actually fulfilling you, actually what you want to be doing? We have the Page of Wands here, so this is a beautiful, like, fresh momentum. This individual, like, really doesn't, she doesn't really hesitate to try new things. She can be a little bit impulsive. She's very creative and very, I'm getting insightful. So she's looking at this sunset here, and she's holding this wand, and she's sort of taking stock and inventory of the energy she has available and how she wants to move forward on her journey. It appears to me that she's kind of getting prepared to go on a journey. And the sun is either rising or setting. I suppose it's a matter of perspective. So is the sun rising in the sense that she has all day to sort of embark on this adventure? Excuse me. Or is the sun setting in terms of it's time to rest and maybe try again another day? I'm going to have to rewatch this so that I can remember that. We have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. This is the main reason why the message of time, energy, and resources, like what you're putting it into, is it really what you want to be doing? The Eight of Pentacles is all about that diligence, that time, and that effort, that showing up, that doing, consistency, the meticulous actions, doing the things and making sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. However, in reverse, there's like this sort of, so in this card, she was painting, and the painting is coming to life. This showing up in reverse is sort of like the painting is not coming to life, or that it's like lacking some elements to come to life. That feels really true. It's lacking some elements that it really needs in order to come to life. So it's like there's, when it comes to passion, will, and desire, like this energy of being the ox and then this workhorse energy, yes, it does power something greater than itself, and it does, the ox is doing its job, but there's this element of, is it what you really want to be doing? Because we have the Ten of Swords here, which is like very, this is a death. This is a death. She's pierced with all these swords, and yet the light is showing on her from above. The moon is full in the background. But this is kind of the energy of feeling defeated. This is the energy of mental exhaustion. Communication, words, ideas, just not, they've come to a point of piercing her soul and opening her, though, to new insight and new information from a different perspective. So there's this sort of cutting open of the ideas, of the thoughts, of the way in which we think about this situation. And it's been very painful and possibly very exhausting and tumultuous as well, because up until this point, what this woman has been seeing and thinking about is like, she's seeing this from a perspective of things are getting taken care of and things are getting done, but she's not really speaking on how this isn't really fully painting the picture that she desires. Then we've got the Two of Pentacles here. So this is a choice. This is a decision. This is a deciding how to manage our time, energy, and resources. And we have this beautiful wise eye sunflower here. We've got sunflowers in a couple of these cards here, which I find significant and important. Sunflowers being very strong rooted with very strong stalks. They grow to be very tall and they face towards the sun. That is their name, the sunflower. They face toward the sun. So in order for them to grow in the way in which they do, though, they need to have a very strong rooted structure and system to support their tall growth and their reaching towards the sun and towards the sky. And there's this eye in here too. So it's like, what are you reaching towards? What are you striving towards? Is what you're doing actually getting you to where you want to be, to where you want to go? And so there's a choice here in terms of how we manage our time, energy, and resources, and really getting us to where we want to be, how we really want to be living. So choosing with our time, energy, and resources, actions that align with that place that we want to be at. And then we've got the Queen of Cups here. She's all about the feelings and the sensations, the sensitivity, the sensuality, the psychic, intuitive abilities, the feelingness, the expansiveness. And she feels very deeply, and yet she remains rooted and grounded in who she is, and she has a very strong kingdom. She's holding a teacup and a trident, with a very stoic face. She's got waves crashing around her, but she doesn't seem phased. She has some growth coming from her crown chakra. Her teapot is steaming, so there's like a lot of energy here. There's a lot of energy, and there's this fish down here at the bottom too. There was a fish in this card too, or no, that's a bird. There's a bird in the Queen of Swords. So she's really not afraid to be who she is. She's really not afraid to trust her intuition. She's really not afraid to trust her feelings, because she knows who she is, and she has a kingdom rooted and grounded in that. Once again, only messages for the highest good are welcome in this time and space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there anything else here that needs to come through around this message? I'm getting this sense of the ox needing to be unhooked from the machine, at least from time to time, to go out into the meadow, to be taken out of this cyclical loop, these cyclical actions, the monotony, taking the ox out of its, what's become its routine, and taking it out and allowing it to just be an ox. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your continued guidance, presence, and support in my life. And I thank you for these messages. And that is all for today.